Word formation is the process of creating new words from existing words or word elements. This process can occur in a variety of ways, such as adding prefixes or suffixes to existing words, compounding two or more words together, or deriving new words from existing ones through conversion or borrowing from other languages. According to Yule, 2010, word formation deals with the processes involved in the creation of new words, page 163. Word formation is a fundamental aspect of language and plays an important role in expanding vocabulary and expressing new concepts. Word formation is a key topic in the field of morphology, which is the study of the structure and formation of words. Morphology examines the different elements of words, including morphemes, the smallest units of meaning, affixes, prefixes and suffixes, and other word parts. Getting to know word roots, bases, stems. Word roots. Word roots are the basic units of meaning that a word is built on. They are typically derived from Greek or Latin and represent the core meaning of a word. For example, the word geology has the root geo, which means earth. Bases. Bases are the form of a word to which affixes, prefixes and suffixes can be added. A base can be a root word, but it can also be a combination of two or more root words or a word with one or more affixes already attached. For example, the base of the word unhappiness is happiness. Stems. Stems are similar to bases, but they are typically formed by removing one or more affixes from a word. They may also be derived from a root word or a base word. For example, the stem of the word unhappiness is happy. Word roots, bases, and stems are all important components of words that serve as the foundation for creating new words through word formation processes such as adding affixes or compounding. A word root is the most basic unit of meaning in a word and is usually of Latin or Greek origin. It represents the core meaning of a word and cannot be further broken down into smaller meaningful units. A base is a unit of meaning to which affixes can be added. It can be a single word or a combination of two or more root words. The base of a word can be altered by the addition of affixes, but it still retains its core meaning. A stem is similar to a base, but it is the form of a word that remains after one or more affixes have been removed. A stem can be derived from a root word or a base word and may or may not retain the original meaning of the word. In summary, word roots, bases, and stems all serve as building blocks for creating new words. The main differences between them lie in their level of analysis and their relationship to affixes and other word formation processes. Word roots are the most basic unit of meaning and cannot be further broken down, while bases and stems can be modified by affixes. Bases are the form of a word to which affixes can be added, and stems are the form of a word that remains after one or more affixes have been removed. Examples of word roots, bases, and stems. Word root, eject meaning to throw. Example, eject, to throw out. Base, act meaning to do. Example, react, to act in response. Stem, helpful, the stem is help, which can be used to form other words like helper, helping, and helpless. Word root, aud meaning to hear. Example, audience, a group of people who listen to a performance. Base, scrib meaning to write. Example, describe, to write or tell about. Stem, creation, the stem is create, which can be used to form other words like creator, creative, and creationism. Word root, tele meaning far off, at a distance. Example: television, a device for viewing from a distance. Base, port meaning to carry. Example: transport, to carry something from one place to another. Stem, beautiful, the stem is beauty, which can be used to form other words like beautifully, beautify, and beautician. What is affixation? Affixation is a process in which affixes, prefixes or suffixes, are added to a base word or root to form a new word with a different meaning. This process is one of the most common ways of creating new words in English and other languages. According to Yule, 2010, affixation is the process of forming words by adding bound morphemes, either prefixes or suffixes, to free morphemes, or stems, page 84. For example, the word unhappy is formed by adding the prefix un-, which means not, to the base word happy. In this case, the prefix is added to the beginning of the base word to create a new word with a negated meaning. Another example of affixation is the suffix able, which means able to be. When added to the base word read, it forms the new word readable, which means able to be read. Overall, affixation is a productive and versatile word formation process that allows speakers of a language to create new words by adding prefixes or suffixes to existing words. It is an important part of the study of morphology and linguistics. Getting to know affixes, prefixes, and suffixes. Affixes are morphemes that are added to a root or stem to create a new word or modify the meaning of an existing word. There are two main types of affixes in English: prefixes and suffixes. A prefix is an affix that is attached to the beginning of a word to modify its meaning or create a new word. For example, the prefix un- is added to happy to create the word unhappy, which means the opposite of happy. Another example is the prefix pre-, which is added to heat to create preheat, meaning to heat something beforehand. A suffix, on the other hand, is an affix that is attached to the end of a word to modify its meaning or create a new word. For example, the suffix less is added to hope to create the word hopeless, which means without hope. Another example is the suffix which is added to write to create writer, meaning someone who writes. These definitions are widely recognized in the field of linguistics and morphology. They are supported by various references, including from the Cambridge Handbook of Linguistics edited by Keith Allen, an affix is a morpheme that combines with a stem to create a new word. A prefix is an affix that is added to the front of a stem, whereas a suffix is an affix added to the end of a stem, page 16. From Morphology, an introduction by Mark Aronoff, affixes are bound morphemes that are added to other morphemes, either prefixes, added to the beginning of a stem, or suffixes, added to the end of a stem, page 3. These references provide further support for the definitions of affixes, prefixes, and suffixes.